Today, I'm going to talk about the recent crash in Centurion's prices and where I think the market is going to go from here. So if you remember what these player prices looked like a couple days ago, you could tell that the market on these players crashed entirely. And it's not just the Centurion's players, it's also the Centurion's icons. And the reason why they crashed was on Wednesday, we all got packs that only cost 2,000 gems or 200 FC points, and in it, you're going to get a guaranteed 90 plus Centurion's player. And of course, because everybody has gems and 200 FC points isn't a lot, those packs were opened up and people got tons of Centurion's players, and those players flooded the market. So we saw people like ter Stegen who, going into that, were at about, you could see 200, the low 200 million coin mark, go all the way down to about 110, and now is working his way back up to 115, but he's likely going to keep going down a little bit further, if not hold his price here. I don't think they're going to, I thought recently they were going to rebound quite a bit, but I don't know, because we had so much selling pressure going down, it's going to take a very long time or a huge injection of coins for people to be able to push the prices up on these players. Another great example was we had Neymar at almost like the 250 million coin mark. Now he's down to 144. He completely crashed. And of course, the icon I was investing in, Zinedine Zidane, went from the low 200s all the way down to about 115 million coins. They all crashed. And so this event has really taught us a lesson, and that is that EA, and we sort of knew this already, but EA will come in at any point and can completely flatten the market if they choose so. They knew dropping a pack like that would bring out so much supply, it wouldn't even be funny. And I think to a degree, it was because they, one, probably thought these Centurions players were a bit too overpriced, although that doesn't quite make sense because, I mean, the Team of the Year players are crazy prices right now, and some of the Centurions are even better than they are, so I don't know how that quite works out. And another possibility, and this is sort of like a conspiracy thing, but it could have been just a way for them to manage investing in the game right now, because they must have known that everybody was investing in Centurions players, and this really shakes up the supply. Now, the real question in my eyes is, are they going to drop the same pack this upcoming Wednesday? Because if they do, I think prices of Centurions players are going to be flattened. And so I'm currently debating whether I should sell off my cards or not. I don't quite know yet. At a huge loss, but it is what it is. But if they do drop those packs, it is going to be devastating for sure. This is similar to what we had when we had the 96 to 97 exchange during Team of the Year and during the Heroes event. That exchange decimated some of these high-rated players' prices for a bit, but once those exchanges were removed from the game, those player prices went up. So I think once the Centurions event is over, or once those packs are no longer being dropped, I think there's a chance for these players to go up in price, but it's all going to be dependent on if they drop the pack again and a decent amount of time. If they don't drop the pack and we have a decent amount of time pass, I think prices will be okay. But in the short term, it might be something that we have to sell and just take a fat loss on. Now, something I actually did is I doubled down and I bought a Zambrotta at 86 million because I was thinking his card is so good. It is way too good to be 86 million coins. But as we could see here, he's already gone down a little bit more. He's down at 80. So I've lost some more coins. It is what it is. But it is an interesting situation to see because these guys their prices do not reflect their playability in game. They simply reflect how much supply is on the market. But that's all I want to say about the Centurions. We just got to keep an eye out on that pack. If it comes back this Wednesday, I think the market is done for until probably months from now. But by then, the other new players that come out are going to be more worth it. So we'll just have to wait and see. As for the Team of the Year players, like I mentioned earlier, they are doing very well. Eusebio is sort of hitting his cap. We saw Ruben Diaz go all the way up to about 100 million coins after he was maybe 70 to 75 when he crashed a week or so ago. We're seeing Hullet back over the 400 million coin mark, and these guys are just going to keep going further and further because they are the best players in their position, and rightfully so. So all the coins are being funneled to them, and it doesn't seem like EA is going to drop anything that will increase supply of these cards. So if the demand increases where there's no increase in supply, the prices are just going to keep going higher and higher. But at the prices they are at right now, they might be hitting a ceiling, so I don't think they're quite investment opportunities. So I'm not personally going into it, although obviously I can't, I don't have the coins, but I think it's something to be a bit wary of. And so because of that, the only real thing I think might be an investment opportunity are the Road to the Final cards. Now, I picked out a few important cards to show you guys what has happened with the prices. We have a card of a player who plays for a team that lost their games and now is out of the UEFA Champions League, so he's not going to get an upgrade. And because of that, he went from 35 million all the way down to 15.8. Now, this is going to be an interesting thing to look at because some of these cards might actually be undervalued for their rating and stats. But it's something to be very cautious of because they were previously overpriced based on the fact that they could get an upgrade. So now they're going to be finding their true market value. Most 93 rated center backs are around the 10 million coin mark, so maybe 10 million is Akanji's true value. We don't know yet, we'll have to see going forward. On the other hand, we have 4 players here who are all on teams that actually went through to the next round, and as you can see, they all got an upgrade. And because of that, their prices have gone crazy. Rodrigo within a day went from about 75-80 million all the way up to 100. I think I saw him as high as 125 or 130 million coins, which is crazy. Now he's averaging back out. He's going to settle down because we have a 2-week break before the next round of Champions League matches. So his price is going to stagnate for a while, probably go down. Maybe he goes down to 90, 100 million. But when the next round of matches comes by, he's definitely going to see some good price action and price volatility because he is playing on a team that probably is the favorite in their matchup. Another example is we had De Ligt here go absolutely crazy. I think he was at the 50-60 million coin mark. Then he doubled all the way up to about 100 million. Even Mats Hummels, not a great card in game, but because his rating has gone up, he has gone up quite a bit in price. And then Vitinha, what a player, by the way, did really well, did tons of great work for PSG in their matchups, but he has gone up quite a bit as well from where he was at about like the 15-20 million coin mark. So when the next round of Champions League matches comes up, we could start investing in these guys to get them ready for, or invest in them before the games happen and then sell them around game time so that we're selling to the people who are betting on the games. But the other way to go about it is if you really think a team's going to win, you could go ahead and bet on them to win. But just keep in mind, you're in essence, you are gambling because there's no way to guarantee that that team wins and that they will get the upgrade. So just keep that in mind. But aside from that, there really hasn't been much else going on. I mean, we're seeing crazy price movement of older players and other players that aren't being supplied through packs and exchanges. But because we really haven't had anything exciting in the exchanges, if we go over here, everything's untradeable. There's no real point in doing these exchanges, honestly, unless you have the extra coins or the extra players, because you're not going to make your coins back, so it's just a money sink. And they haven't released another player like Van Basten, so we're just going to have to see. We might get one today, you never know. But because there's been nothing with the exchanges, and because they're crushing the market with packs, there hasn't really been much opportunity for investing in general. The only thing I could say is if you know there are certain players that you think are very good in game that are undervalued, go through each position. If you find some lower rated center backs that you think are undervalued, lower rated being in the 90s, probably the mid 90s, but aren't getting a lot of love, maybe those might be an investment opportunity over time, especially if they're not going to be in packs or exchanges. But overall, probably the best thing to do is to accumulate as many coins as possible and try to be somewhat safe with your investments going forward, as we do have Team of the Season coming in pretty soon. EA just dropped their first tweet about voting for the Bundesliga Team of the Season, so this stuff is coming in. When Team of the Season comes in, we should all expect that most of the cards will be outdated and we're going to have to reset the entire market. And so it's going to be great to have coins available when that happens. But that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.